Yeah, it was a great match, and again, I'm starting to see something in Barrett. He is a guy who can, just like Orton can now, a long time on in his career, he may get to that stage, but I think he can make people look good as well. He's probably had a traditional English sort of wrestling background. I don't know too much about where he came from. I could assume it was one of those UK federations, but definitely he can do a lot, and he moves around quickly as well. He's a tall guy, but I think there's a huge potential for him. I mean, he is a new Steve Regal, and we were looking at a guy who will replace Steve Regal in that kind of Englishman role. And as well, his accent is quite neutral. It's not heavy on any kind of northern. It's just neutral, and indeed, certainly from our point of view, from this part of the world, he's neutral enough to get over. He's not going to kind of make anyone find it hard to understand him. I mean, people seem to think Regal is some sort of distinguished gentleman. He's from the north of England.
Yeah, it's very true, yeah. And if you look at people like Sheamus, I mean, I don't know how American audience find his thick Dublin, Ireland accent, but I certainly would imagine at the start it was a bit tough. And then you've got guys like Desmond Wolfe with the real, I don't know if he's a Londoner, I think he is, but the real strong Cockney accent. But it works for Wolfe, and it works a treat, I think. His character is really, really, really good. So, yeah, getting back to Barrett, I think, his accent is just not too much. It's just fine. It's Manchester, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it sounds like a Manchester accent. But it's not overkill Manchester, so it would definitely let him have a lot more potential, I think, to get across to the peeps.
Yeah, indeed, that was NXT, and the final result there, Kane defeating Slater. Slater put in a great offensive, and Slater had a lot to do in that match. I think that does prove that Kane at least does give those guys a chance to perform, and perhaps doesn't do too much complaining in the back. I mean, that's probably why he's lasted so long.
Yeah, I think so. He kind of lets them shine, and that match could have been a quick squash, but he definitely let Slater get in some of the offensive, and it gave Slater a chance to show what he can do up against a guy like Kane, who is the monster heel and a big guy to take down. For most of the WWE universe, that's the way they'd probably see that scenario, but at least it gives time to Slater to shine and get him over, even though he didn't come out on top. Slater he had his chance to shine.
Thanks for watching us on WrestleDope this week on YouTube, and indeed for listening to the podcast on iTunes.